Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. In this video, I let M1 do the picking for my stocks based upon my current allocation, and that's with a $100 deposit this morning. And what we're looking at right now, this is my taxable M1 stock brokerage account, my Average Joe dividends portfolio, and we can see over the last year we've had a gain of almost 14%. You can see the dividends earned over the last year over $10,000 at $10,928.56. And then we see the performance over the last year here. It looks like the market highs, or at least the portfolio high for this portfolio, was July 16th at 257. Got really close to that 260 mark, but we're back down to 252.7. We'll go to the last 3 months. We'll see what the trend has been. So up 6%. And then over the last month, up 1.4%. We'll just take a look at today, and we're just pretty much flat, just down 0.03%. And if you are interested to see what's in this portfolio, I have it split into 3 slices. I'll leave a link below so you can see what those are allocated into, what those percentages are, and what those individual stocks are. But I'll just let you know most of it is in the ETF SCHD with some other individual positions as well. And I'm going to jump into the activity log because I want to show you what was purchased with that $100 deposit. And we see the $100 deposit that went in, and here's the 2 buys. We'll click on that, and we'll see the vast majority of it went into waste management. So 97.54 went into waste management. So it bought nearly a full share, so 0.49 of a share. And then Apple, it's going to be a very tiny fractional. It's probably not going to move the needle on the dividend. It's probably going to remain the same with Apple. As you can see, it's just buying 0.01 of a share, but this does add up. That 0.01 will, it makes a difference in the portfolio, a very tiny one, but a very tiny one nonetheless. So let's go over to my Average Joe tracking sheet here, my shared AJD dividend portfolio. This is a Google Doc spreadsheet. I'll leave a link below for this too, so you can see everything I'm invested in. You can see the number of shares that I own. You can see the dividends that I'm receiving from each of these positions. And hopefully this is helpful to you guys, because right now there's 52 positions in here, and you can see they're color coded by different shades of green. Since we are in the first month of Q3, we're in July, it's in the light green, and I have a color key down here. We can see July, this is the light green, and we are in month 1 of Q3, and we'll take a look at, here's the dividends received so far, and everything is arranged by the pay date, because I want to know when I'm going to get paid, and I want to know what I get paid, or what I'm going to be paid in the future too. So we can see so far in the month of July, just for doing nothing but owning stock, I received $1,062.51. And what I do is, the strategy is to reinvest those dividends right back into that stock. So you can see the next dividend for all these positions is going up, sometimes by a few cents, sometimes by dollars. You can see with SCHD, of course, that is contingent upon SCHD having 82-cent dividend in Q3. We'll see what it's going to be. Probably not the 82 cents. I can bet, we'll bet on that. And I think it's going to be lower, but I'm a little bit of a pessimist with it. I temper my expectations, and I think it's a good way to go. Then I'm not disappointed nearly as much if I'm too optimistic on things. So waste management is what was purchased. We're going to find waste management right here. And we can see here the next dividend, which will be 3 months from now, so it'll be approximately September 22nd, I would be receiving $6.60. So we're going to see this change because I purchased fractional shares, about a half a share of waste management. Apple, I don't think it's going to, I think it's going to be $3.53, because 0.01% of a very low dividend paying stock is not going to move the needle. I think it's going to be staying at that 353, but we'll see. Maybe I'm proven wrong. Maybe it rounds up. Who knows? But down below here, we can see here's the total market value of the dividend portfolio. Here's my cost basis into it. Here's my gain or loss. This includes dividends being paid. We can see here's the yield percentage. Here's the yield on my cost in the portfolio. And these numbers are going to change here. The 998.81. This is going to go up very modestly. We're talking probably 15 to 20 cents because it was only a $100 deposit. And Waste Management does not pay a huge dividend right now. They're at 1.5% on all new money going in. You can see my yield on cost is just over 2%, and that's because my average share price that I bought into is 147.50, while right now it's at 199.68. So I've done well with this investment, up 39.63%. Not doing so great with Starbucks. It looks like that's my only loser right now in the portfolio. But I think long term, Starbucks will turn it around. So we're going to see this change. We're going to see Waste Management. We're going to see these numbers change. And I like to track them monthly, more so than quarterly and annual, even though, they are important. They're all related. But that to me represents more of a paycheck than getting paid quarterly or annually. And this is an average, so it adds up all of my quarterly payers, and then it adds in the monthly payers. BST and O has to add them in an additional 2 times to come up with the monthly cash flow average. And you can see the math there, where it adds everything up, and then H60 pulls in an array to add in the monthly payers and put them in 2 more times. That's the H60 times 2. If you're wondering what the heck this is right here, that's just the account for the monthly payers. There's no way to kind of extract it out because I'm constantly resorting these with the new dividend pay dates, so they get rearranged. The O does in BST. So this is a way to pull their values and put them in 2 times more to get the quarterly total. So enough of that. I'm going to jump back to M1. I'm going to grab some data, which is going to update the number of shares and things like that for Apple and Waste Management, because those two have changed. So let's go over to M1, Holdings tab. And again, I'll leave a link below so you can see everything that's in this portfolio. I'm going to start with a name column and grab all this data, and everything is arranged from my largest position to the smallest. You can see SCHD, like I mentioned before, is my largest position right now in the portfolio. I don't see that changing. There we go. We got everything from largest to smallest. Do a copy. I'm going to paste this into my M1 data tab. And what this does is it aligns the number of shares, my cost basis, and my average price paid for each share. Do a paste special, values only. And again, this is only going to update Apple and Waste Management because those are the only 2 that had to change. The other ones are going to remain the same, like SCHD. I didn't buy any more shares, so it's still at that 1,175 mark. Go back to the dividend portfolio tab, and we'll see, actually, I was wrong. You can see here that the next dividend for Apple is going to be $3.54. So that tiny little buy actually did bump it up to the next penny. So I was pessimistic and wrong. So pleasant surprise there. Got a penny there. Wasn't expecting even that. But most of my money went into Waste Management, which last week took a hit. It went down. So that's why right now I'm buying this, because my allocation for it dropped because other things may have went up while Waste Management went down. So technically it's buying it on sale within my portfolio. Of course, what I'm buying is not investment advice. It's just what I'm acquiring. And again, this is based upon my M1 allocations. I deposited $100. I let M1 do the picking. So Waste Management was that much lower than the other investments. So we can see 660 would have been my dividend, but in 3 months from now, on September 22nd approximately, it will be $6.97. So you can see just those little things with Apple, a dollar to whatever that was before, and then the 90 some dollars, what impact that had. And so it increased my income. And we can see, here we go. So from 998.81 to 998.94, again, it was very subtle. Looks like 13 cents, but we're going to go ahead and record this in the monthly average dividend tracking tab. And I like to track all the moves I do with deposits, sells, whether I do a dividend drip or there's a dividend increase announced. That actually impacts on my monthly cash flow. So let's carry over the 998.94. We'll have to scroll all the way down. Put in the 998.94. And again, this is the event was a $100 deposit. You can see there's the 13 cents. Let's take a look at some other events. Just in July, we'll see what's happened with the larger things that happen. 13 cents, you think, wow, that really didn't do anything, but these things all add up. And as I'm buying more shares, you can see these were dividend drips with a $100 deposit on the first, and that added nearly $4 to my income. You can see the SCHD, Coca-Cola, Allstate, etc. dividend drips, is several dollars in my monthly income, and that impacts my monthly income every month afterwards. So even these 9 cent, 4 cent, 21 cents, 44 cents, and these vary on what I'm buying. You can see here on the 8th, it went up by 44 cents, and the reason for that is I bought stock that paid a much higher dividend. And so that's reflected here with the 44 cents instead. And things like Waste Management and Apple, those are more growth, dividend growth stocks where they like to increase their dividend by 5+% every year. And I guarantee what I bought over here, they probably don't increase their dividend quite as much, is my best guess. I'm not sure exactly what I bought in the 8th. I could look it up, but that's the reason for that. I was buying something that pays a much higher dividend. We can see, I'm going to grab all the events just for July and just show you how just for July how it adds up. So I've added an additional $10.31 of income every single month going forward just by these moves with the deposits. And some things I don't do anything about. I just receive dividend increases or dividend drips, and it just keeps compounding. So let's go over to the dividend tracker tab, and I've been doing these videos since January 2021. You can see the starting portfolio value when I started tracking and doing these videos, and you can see the first month paid $37.41. We can go fast forward to today, and here's the dividends so far received in July, $1,062.51. We can see the average monthly dividend right now getting close to that $1,000 a mark, $1,000 a month mark, so close to that. And here's the monthly increase to 1031 I was talking about before, and I like to track that progress. Of course, there's always going to be a bogey in March where SCHD announces their historical Q1 dividend that's historically always lower. So this is going to be no surprise. Q1 2025 is going to be the same thing, and it's just going to springboard back in June in 2025 as well. As you can see that I gave up the $40, but it rebounded back. That's just going to be a fact of life with holding SCHD. There's my $100 deposit. So I put in so far $900 for the month of July. This will probably close it out. Because Thursday, Friday, that's going to be August 1st, so I'll be in August on this line doing the next deposit there, and we start all over increasing the monthly income from this portfolio, and I guarantee we're going to hit or exceed that $1,000 mark in August. Hopefully it doesn't retract again with a lower dividend of SCHD in Q3. That's a possibility. Going from 82 cents, we could be in the 70s with SCHD. We'll see. But that's a distinct possibility of drifting back into the high 9s again, and then really pushing it way over the top in December of 2025. 2024. So to close out this video, I'm going to go to my total net worth tab. And I know some people will criticize the portfolio with all these different positions in it. There's 52 total in here, and people will tell me, why don't you just invest in index funds? Well, the answer to that is I do, and most of my net worth is wrapped up in these boring index funds like VYM, VTI, VXUS. So I have US international stock exposure. So you can see just with those boring Vanguard ETFs that I have in IRAs and a taxable account that accounts for over $440,000 my net worth. You can see over here most of my 401k with my current employer. That's in a Fidelity S&P 500 fund. And then at M1 Finance, I have a pretty sizable IRA as well in boring ETFs as well with the BST closed-end fund, and that's totaling over $650,000. And here's my measly 15% of my net worth of dividend portfolio at $252,805. You can see here's my emergency fund. I'm paranoid about, like a loss of job or just not being able to work. And to me, that really helps me sleep at night. Having that kind of cushion in there. I never had to use it in my working career at all, but you never know. And here's more short-term savings right here. And here's my home value, and here's my liabilities, current credit card balance. This is nothing I carry over. I pay it off in full every single month and do not pay interest, but this is the balance that's on it right now. It's not due till August 9th, so I'm going to pay it off probably the first couple days of August and accrue no interest again. But I just show these as these are liabilities, and here's my mortgage, and so I subtract this out so you can see my total net worth at over $1.6 million, and we can see my net worth over time too, starting from November of 2022 at 1.2 million, and how that has gone up and up. And I'll tell you one thing, it hasn't been because of picking a stock that's gone 10x or Bitcoin, nothing like that. It has just been buying and holding mostly ETFs and boring investments that you can see right over here. All these, just holding these and the market recovering. That is all it's about. Of course, I have a gap every month, but I don't make a whole lot of money. I don't have a huge gap every month, but the gap I do have, I save it and I invest it. And that is what happens when you, over time, just, you hold and buy and hold. This is what happens. And of course, we're not done in July, but you can see here I also track my W-2 income as well as my expenses. And again, I'm expecting another paycheck, and my expenses are not closed out, so we're not done there. And you'll see this too. And again, I'll leave a link below to so you can track this, or you can see how I track this. You can put in your own information, and I think it's really important to track this and track your progress. And lastly, we can see here the breakdown of what I'm into. I got rid of my bonds, at least not yet in the 401k. I do have some. I'll probably leave those, but I have to add that back in with the breakdown. But you can see heavily invested in stocks, and then home equities, less than 10%. I think a lot of people make a mistake of putting too much into their home equity. And it's great to own your home, but I don't think it's a good idea to have your net worth mostly wrapped up in it, because historically the price of real estate, at least private real estate or consumer, a house, it only goes up really just a tiny bit more than the rate of inflation, while stocks historically have outpaced inflation and have had returns between 8 and 10%. That's based upon, of course, an index. And I highly recommend you have a huge base of indexes before you delve or go out to start buying individual positions. Do your research, of course. So that's all I had to show you for this video. Again, I'm still here. I'll show you what I bought again in case you forgot. It was 2 positions. See those 2 buys, and really it was just waste management with a tiny sprinkle of Apple. Let me know what you think of these picks. Do you think these picks are trash, pun intended, with waste management, or maybe you like them. Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know in the comments below what you're buying this week. I love to hear what you guys are buying. And thanks for everyone who watches these videos and who subscribes to this channel and likes the channel. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys. You guys are awesome. I hope everyone has a great week, and everyone take care.